Yo, what is up? Today, I'm going to be showing you some pro tips and tricks inside of the game prospecting. Now, I did make a tips and tricks before, but that was kind of more towards beginning of the game. So now I'm going to show you some really good tips if you're more advanced in the game. Oh yeah, by the way, before I forget, I am going to be giving away a game pass in this video. So all you got to do is make sure you leave a like, subscribe, comment your username, and let me know what game pass you want, and I will give it out to one lucky viewer. So definitely subscribe. So first of all, obviously, right, make sure you're upgrading your pan and your shovel. The best one in the game is actually called the Dragon Flame Pan and also the Dragon Flame Shovel. As you can see, they look absolutely beautiful. And the way you get these is actually from the volcano island. And the way you get there is the ferryman right there. And you take the boat, and there's like a secret cave on the left side of the volcano. I do have an entire video dedicated to that if you want to check it out. Next up, you should always basically be working towards your next equipment, because these equipments, they definitely make a huge difference. Now, when I say equipment, I mean like the rings, the crowns, or the charms, I mean, and the necklaces, sorry. So if I go into my equipment, for example, this is what I'm rocking with, and I'm constantly always working towards getting better stuff. Now, most pro players, what they struggle with is getting certain ores and stuff, because money isn't like too crazy to get. You know, it's kind of easy to get a lot of money in this game, but the problem lies with getting specific ores. So for example, this necklace right here that I'm trying to get, this celestial rings, I need this vorticence, which I believe is a mythic. Really difficult to get. Now, obviously, a really huge tip is when you're grinding for these, always make sure that you favorite the items that you need in order to craft the equipment that you obviously want, right? So if I get the vorticence, of course, I'm going to make sure I favorite that. Or even, to be honest, I recommend just favoriting loads of legendaries and stuff, because you never know when you might need them. Also, favorite an item called the Oro Light, or no, Oro Right, sorry, because this ore you actually use for enchanting, which I'll go in more detail later on. Also, while we're here, when you get a item from this crafting, you can also talk to the blacksmith, because there's a feature in the game called Reforge, and this basically re-enchants like the stats on it. So you can basically like respin it for a Reforge. Now, I think the more you do it, the more expensive it becomes. So do keep that in mind. Now, to be honest, you can spend Robux actually if you want to, but it's kind of expensive. So if I do Reforge, like instead of spending money, you can actually get a perfect Reforge for like however many Robux, depending on the rarity of your item. So it's only 99 Robux for this, but for like really rare items, it'd be like 300. So if you're super rich in the Robux, I guess you can just do that, because that will save you a lot of time. Now, if you are going to be buying Robux, please consider using star code VIEW, which is view, and then press add. Yeah, thank you to anyone that uses my code. Much appreciated. Okay, now next up. So this is actually what some pro players have told me that they've been doing. So basically, as you probably know already, you can enchant your pan, which if you didn't know, this is the area for it. And obviously with that ore I shown earlier, the Ororite, which I have loads here. Use this ore, enchant your pan. But that's not the only thing I'm telling you, because basically a lot of pro players, what they do is they actually have two pans that they go through when grinding. So, for example, your main pan, which is your best one. So for me, that will be the Dragon Flame, as you can see. I actually have the Titanic enchantment on it. I don't know if that's the best enchant, but it is a legendary enchant, so I've just got it on. Try and get a legendary enchant on your pan. Now, by the way, I believe the 4 legendary enchantments you can get are called Unstable, which gives you a 25% modifier boost. Titanic, which is what I've got, it gives you a 20% size boost plus a 20% capacity boost, I believe. Blessed gives you a 25% capacity boost and also a 10% boost. And then the Midas gives you a 50% cell boost. I believe that's the stats. That might be outdated, but I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, try and get the Unstable, Titanic, Blessed, or Midas enchant, because they're the best ones. But yeah, back to my point. With the best enchants, try and get one of those 3 technically. And then with a second pan, which is actually my World Shaker, go for the Midas enchant, because what people are doing, what I've been told, is people are basically farming with their best pan with another enchantment, like the Titanic, for example. And then when they go to sell, they actually hold out the Midas pan and then sell. Now, I've not really tested this out myself. This is just what I've been told that pro players are doing, so I thought I'd mention it in this video. Oh yeah, also with your equipment, for example, if you're going to be selling tons of stuff for money, Obviously, I guess you can take off some of your best stuff and replace it for some weaker stuff that has like a sell boost if you've got any. So for example here, actually, this item has a sell boost. So if I was trying to make a lot of money, I guess I'd quickly put this on just as I'm about to sell. Then make sure you got all your luck stuff on and your speed and your dig speed on when you're actually farming. But then put this sort of stuff on when you're selling. You can do that for a bit of extra money. So like this one here, this got 31% sell boost. So if I was going to sell, you know, logically, I guess the best thing would be to do is to put this one on when I go to sell. You know what I mean? Now, another tip is definitely make sure you use all of the recent codes. Now, one of the most recent codes that I know of at the minute is called Volcanic, which I believe is spelled like that. So VOLCANIC, Volcanic, and then press claim. I've already claimed it, obviously, but that will give you like some pretty OP boosts. So definitely make sure you do that. Now, my next tip is basically when you go to farm, always make sure that you combine everything in the game so you can maximize your luck. So if you didn't know, if you go over to the alchemist over here, basically make sure that you buy all 4 of these potions. Don't just buy the greater potions. As you can see, greater capacity, greater luck. And then these are the basic versions of these. Make sure you buy all 4. So don't just buy these 2, buy these as well. Because yeah, they all stack up together, which is pretty awesome. Look, I'll show you. So I'll buy the greater one, and I'll also buy the basic luck. And as you can see, I've got both on at the same time. So instead of just plus 10 with the greater luck, I've also got an additional 5. So I'm getting 15 luck just with that. And also make sure, if you can, that you get a luck totem and a strength totem. And also buy the sell boost, or no, buy the sell boost, which is actually called the merchant's potion as well. So buy all 3 of those. Buy all the potions from the merchant, or the the alchemist, and yeah, stack pretty much everything together, because obviously you want as much luck as possible, because the more luck you get, not only we have a higher chance of getting the mythics and stuff, you'll also get more money, you'll get more XP. I mean, you know, you'll pretty much just get everything a lot more, which is obviously very good. That's usually what I do, especially if there's a meteor on. I think literally one of the best things you can do in this game is wait for a meteor to spawn, place down a luck totem, a strength totem, buy all 4 of the alchemist potions, and then you're like really stacked at that point, and you should be able to get tons of stuff doing that strategy. Oh yeah, another thing I want to quickly mention before I forget is basically if you talk to some NPCs, which obviously, you know, you get the quests, which everyone knows about. You know, some of the quests in this game by talking to some of the NPCs are really OP. Like you'll get tons of money, you'll get tons of shards, which is obviously great. And you'll also get XP. But one really good thing about talking to some NPCs is some of them, when you complete all of their missions, they give you like these permanent luck. Or not, what, some of it's not always permanent luck. It can be like, so for example here, this ancient blessing, this one here is permanent luck. This is +5 permanent luck, so I'll have that forever. This experience one is +1 luck. This lighthouse is lighthouse blessing +3 luck, which is permanent. Now, this one's different. So this trader's recommendation, the sell boost is 20%, and that is also permanent. So basically, I'm just going to show you from up here. The trader's recommendation one is from over there. You can see the trader next to that white van. The lighthouse blessing is obviously from completing all the NPCs on top of the lighthouse. Now, the ancient blessing, I'm pretty sure, I mean, that's either from the cave or it's from the day 5 login streak. I actually can't remember where that one's from again. But yeah, pretty much my point is make sure you do all the NPC quests because some of them give permanent luck boost, which obviously is just going to help you out. Now, another thing in the game that I highly recommend you do is basically you will have these fast travels or these waypoints, whatever you want to call them, like pretty much around the map. Now, I guess I can quickly just show you where all of them located. Now, this is a massive help because in this game, there's like no sprint, there's no like vehicles or anything. So this walk speed, this is how you go around the whole map. And it can be pretty annoying at times when you got to go somewhere far. But luckily, in the most recent update, they added this waypoint thing. So if you see these pillars on the map, make sure you go over to them and unlock them because then you'll get a fast travel to that certain location. So if I go to Rubble Creek, which is spawn, there's one right here. So make sure you unlock it. Crystal Caverns, there's one inside of the cave right over here behind this scientist. Now, if I head to the Fortune River, obviously that's where the alchemist is. I've already been here. Sunset Beach, there's one right next to the lamppost, as you can see, or lamppost, I mean lighthouse. The Fortune River Delta, there's one all the way at the back of the map, basically, where this old prospector is. So make sure you claim this one. The Caldura Island, There's one on the new island that recently came in the new update, right next to this village. And there's also one in the Windswept Beach, which is located right over here next to the volcano. We just came over from there. That was that town. Make sure you claim this one as well. And I think I've shown them all, but yeah, I mean, watch this, right? Like, I can literally just teleport through the whole map. There's not even like a timer or anything. I can literally just spam it. I mean, this is insane. Oh wait, actually, I forgot this one. This magma furnace. Make sure, obviously, inside the volcano, you also claim in this one as well. Yeah, I mean, it's like crazy. I mean, watch this. I can literally just spam across the map. Super insane. And I love how there's no cooldown as well. Some games, I feel like they would add like a cooldown where you can only use it like once every 10 seconds. On this game, you can just spam it, which is beautiful. Now, my next tip while we're here, there are these things called sluices. I think that's how I say it. S-L-U-I-C-E, sluice. It's like juice, but with an S, so sluice, I guess. But yeah, pretty much these things. Now, this is the best one in the game. This is 200 mil. But if I go back to the fast travel and go back to spawn, which is Rubble Creek, basically, there's one, well, actually, there's a few in here. So right at the very spawn area, you can get this wood sluice box, this steel sluice box, and also this gold sluice box, which pretty much, it says right here, look, it collects offline. So yeah, you can place these down in moving water, so like a river or something, and it'll actually get you ores while you're offline. So that's actually pretty sick, I can't lie. Now, you don't need to stick with those basic ones. If you go to like the Fortune River Delta, I think there's one over here somewhere. I can't actually remember where it is, somewhere. I think it's actually more over here. You fast travel to that little shed where the prospector is, and then go around here somewhere. I think there's like an enchanted one. Oh yeah, so next to this shady merchant, you can get an enchanted sluice, and you can also get an obsidian one as well. So just in case, you know, you've got a lot of money, you can buy those. But obviously, if you're like super rich, then buy the one in the magma furnace, because obviously that's the best in the game. But it does cost 200 million though, so it is a bit expensive, but you might as well buy it if you can afford it. Obviously, I'd recommend you buy the dragon flame shovel or the dragon flame pan first. Don't be buying the sluice first. It's not worth it that much. It's just worth it if you can just afford it once you bought everything else, you know what I mean? But yeah, hopefully you have enjoyed this video. Hopefully I've actually mentioned everything. I think I have. Now, I've mentioned a lot of stuff, so there potentially could be something I've missed out here. I do apologize if I have. If I missed out any like really good tips, do just write them in the comment section. Let everybody know, because there's so much stuff I've mentioned in this video, then the chances are I probably have missed something. But yeah, appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. Definitely subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.